Wow. I'm saying the word wow. How many boxes I have. Now, like, do you see me, like, trying to push it?
Yeah, but you look silly.
Hey everybody, welcome back to part 4 of the world's biggest unboxing. Today, I'll be doing Rapala, VMC, and Missile Baits. For the unboxing, I'll be wearing a red Tackle Warehouse short sleeve, mainly because all of the packages come in red, so I just kind of figured it would fit the theme. Anyways, without further ado, let's get to part 4 of the world's biggest unboxing. Alrighty, let's start out with Rapala.
Rapala, 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 Rapala.
I don't really know where I'm going with this. Let's start out with Rapala and VMC. I always get sketched out that, like, I'm gonna cut one of my baits or something every time I'm doing one of these unboxings. I don't know why. But all of this is really just hard baits, mainly because it's really difficult to get your hands on any of the Rapala Crush City baits. But so this box is mainly just Rapala and VMC hard baits, terminal, and accessories. But stay tuned, there will be a Rapala Crush City plastics unboxing. Probably, I don't know, as soon as I can get my hands on them. They're kind of difficult, especially that freeloader. If you guys haven't heard, the freeloader is probably one of the best baits on the market right now. It's selling out everywhere and it's winning tournaments everywhere, so it's kind of hard to beat that. But yeah, anyways, it was really difficult getting my hands on some Rapala Crush City baits, and I kind of wanted to have a whole spread, so I just figured that we'll have that video for y'all in the future. So just diving right in, probably the most popular Rapala bait is the Rapala Shad Rap, and as you can see here, we got it in some natural colors, and then we got it in some chrome colors. They also have this jointed style. This is in the baby bass color, but this is going to dive a little bit deeper than just your standard 5 shad wrap. 2 realistic colors. We got the natural shad color, and then baby bass, and then here we have silver blue, and then we just have a plain silver. Next, again, another classic in the Rapala lineup has to be the DT6, and the 2 colors I can really recommend you is Bluegill and Demon. Really nice colors. Bluegill, Demon, and then if you want, you could have like a shad color. Just have like 3 colors, and then you'll be good to go basically everywhere, just having 3 different representations. But for pond fishing, the 2 colors I really recommend is definitely the Bluegill and then Demon. Again, the DT6, it's in the name, dives 6 feet deep, really classic crankbait. Another reason why I paired Rapala and VMC is because all of Rapala baits come equipped with VMC hooks, so just kind of figured, you know, it makes sense. Another major thing to note about the DT6 is that it's made out of balsa wood, as opposed to a lot of baits on the market right now are made out of hard plastic. So really big plus right there. Probably works a little bit more effectively in colder water. And then staying on track with the DT lineup, we have the DT16. And these 2 colors are basically the only 2 colors I fish in the DT16. We have Old School and we have Disco Shad. These 2 colors should basically just get the job done. So again, Disco Shad and Old School. Really sweet colors, DT16, in the name, dives 16 feet, again, made out of balsa wood. Really nice crankbaits. We got one more for crankbaits, and then we'll move on to jerk baits. New addition, or relatively new, from the Otts Garage is the OG Slim. This color right here is Live River Shad. I picked up 2 of them just because I feel like I'll probably end up losing one of them. I got them just to try out. They seem really nice. I really like that they're made out of balsa wood again, and then they have that circuit board lip, so it's probably going to help them deflect off cover a little bit better. Really nice bait overall. I'll probably end up fishing him through winter to spring transition. Next up, we got jerk baits. More specifically, this is kind of like one of the first jerk baits that Rapala ever made, but it's the Husky Jerk, and this guy is a classic. A lot of people probably have fished him for years and years now. I got him in the number 10 size, so he runs about 4 to 8 feet, I believe. And really sweet colors. Again, just 2 kind of clear water colors and then 2 chrome colors. And then following the timeline of Rapala baits, Ripstop Minnow was one that they came out with. I believe it was after the Husky Jerk. This is probably my favorite color in the entire Rapala lineup. It's called Purple Descent. And again, I went ahead and picked up 2 of them, just in case I ended up losing one of them. It comes in 2 different sizes, so this right here is the 09 and this is the 12. This right here, this color is called Mossback Shiner. Really nice and natural color. It is a suspending jerkbait, but another thing to note is that it's a hard stopping jerkbait with the tail flange here that's immediately going to act like a kayak paddle just in the water. and stopping almost all the movement from the jerkbait the moment you stop twitching. Lastly, for jerkbaits, we got the Rapala X-Wrap, which honestly, this is probably one of my favorite colors in the Rapala X-Wrap is the gold. So I picked up a couple of them. But this is a really nice finesse jerkbait. These colors right here are Glass Ghost and Silver. But again, really nice finesse jerkbait. And another thing to note about these X-Wraps is it almost feels like they catch every other species. Like they do catch bass, don't get me wrong. But I've caught like striper on these, crappie, and just a whole bunch of different stuff. Really good bait. You could use this in the river, you could use this in a pond. Feels like this bait can almost go anywhere. Another thing to note, it does come in different sizes. So this is the size 8 and then this is the size 10. I did pick up a little bit bigger size just in case I was striper fishing or maybe saltwater fishing. Speaking of saltwater and striper fishing, I feel like this Rapala flat wrap is extremely effective. You essentially just cast it out, reel it down to about like 2-3 feet, and then just give it small twitches and flashes. I feel like that's an underutilized bait, but if you know how to work it, I think it's really effective. Next up, we got the Rapala Original Floater. Again, this is a classic. Mostly everybody knows these baits. We got 3 really nice colors here. We got rainbow trout, silver, and hot steel. So I'll probably use this one for like dirty water pond fishing. This color can just basically work anywhere. It's just your classic chrome almost. Then I got rainbow trout for river and lake fishing. I'm a fan of this rainbow trout color mainly because I fish a lot of rivers and ponds that get stocked by trout, so I think it's extremely effective. Another style of the Rapala floating minnow is the jointed version. So 2 major tips with this guy. You can fish him extremely slow on the surface of the water, almost like a wake bait, or you can crank him like a single jointed swim bait. And then we got the Rapala countdown minnow. This guy's made out of balsa, and a major thing to note is that he sinks. So he doesn't really fish that deep, he goes about 2 to 3 foot. But it does sink, so you can essentially just cast him out, count it down. Again, countdown minnow, it's in the name. Again, really effective bait in that rainbow trout color. I really like fishing him in stocked ponds and river systems. And lastly, for Rapala hard baits, we got the jigging minnow. And these are going to be in 2 different sizes. We got the 3, which is going to be the middle one. It's a little bit more finesse. Comes in 3/16 ounce. And then we got the 7, which comes in a 5/8 ounce. I really prefer the size 7, but I did pick up the 3 just in case I was doing some like ice fishing or finesse fishing. For colors, I got, again, my favorite, purple descent, and then I got silver right here. And then for this one, I'm not exactly sure what the color is, but I'll make sure to leave it in the description, so just y'all be looking out for that. Next up, we got some VMC terminal. So we're just going to start out with some VMC jigs, and we got moontail jigs and bucktail jigs. This is a 1/4 ounce black bucktail jig, and then this is a 3/8 ounce moontail jig. Again, I'm not exactly sure on the color, but I'll make sure that I leave it in the description. Everybody's fished the bucktail jig, but I'm yet to try out a moontail before, and when I saw this, I was extremely excited to grab it because A, the purple in it, and then B, the eyes on it are huge, so I just thought that would attract a really big fish, if anything. But again, I just figured I could kind of use these for like striper fishing, river fishing, lake fishing, whatever. You know, just catch something big or catch something to eat. Another style of jig on the VMC lineup, we got the shaky head. This is a 3/16 ounce in the green pumpkin color. Really nice style jig head. A major thing to note, this comes made out of vanadium steel, which is like 15% stronger than almost any high carbon steel you can find. I'm a huge fan of these VMC hooks, and I really recommend them, so don't be afraid to pick some up if you're in the market for some really good hooks. Next, we're going to move to finesse hooks, and I'm basically going to give you the 3 best and only finesse hooks you're going to need from the VMC lineup, and it's going to be the 1/0 wide gap with that resin closed eye, the weedless Nico hook in size number 1, and the finesse Nico hook in a size 1/0 or a 1. Big things to note about these is that they have the resin closed eye again, and then they come at a slight offset, so they're going to increase your hookup ratio. Weedless Nico, it's kind of self-explanatory. There's 2 massive strands of fluorocarbon that are going to help reduce the amount of snags you have. Then we have the finesse Nico hook. Now it's called the finesse Nico, but I really don't recommend it on that. I really recommend fishing it on a drop shot. And let me take it out of the package here and just show you why. Now again, you're going to have that resin closed eye, but another thing to note is that you're going to have these 2 strands of fluorocarbon keeper that are really going to help increase the life of your baits. And I really recommend these. These are probably some of the best hooks for a drop shot. And you may be wondering like, oh, is a 1/0 too big? No, I just Texas rig it. I'm sure that's something that you'll see on my channel. Lastly, for hooks, we got the VMC bladed hybrid. I'm not exactly sure if there's any other brands that make these. I know some people make them homemade. I personally just buy them because I think it's a lot nicer and easier. These treble hook replacements are perfect on a walking bait, jerking bait, or even a lipless rattle trap. And dependent on where you place them, I recommend the size 5. If you put them on the front end of a lipless crankbait or a jerkbait, it'll make them nosedive a little bit more, which will potentially reduce the amount of snags you have and increase action, as well as that irresistible blade that's just constantly shaking and shimmering at the bottom. Next up, we have some accessories. And a major one that I really recommend is the crossover pliers. So these are going to really extend the life of any wacky rig or Nico rig you have. The package does come with some crossover rings, and they're held inside of the handle here. This side also allows you to put anything that you would want as well if you want to buy some more. I really recommend getting some of these Nico rings, so that way you have some crossover rings that you can use for wacky rigging, and then Nico rigging in the other side of the handle. Essentially just loading up these crossover pliers, making you as efficient on the water as possible. Lastly, we made the big boy decision to finally get a tournament level scale. And I think you guys are going to appreciate this on the channel because we've been catching some hogs, and I'm excited to see if we can get some weights on them. Back to the scale, this is like the industry standard when you're talking about like tournament level scales. The reason I went with this scale is because it came with some sturdy looking lip grips to attach to, as well as its touchscreen, and it keeps track of the recent fish you've weighed. And it came with some cull tags, so that's also just a bonus. If there's anything better, feel free to let me know in the comments. Moving on to Missile Baits. I believe this company was started by John Cruz, who was just a professional fisherman himself. Directly on top of the package, we have Ike's Mini Swim Jig. This is probably my favorite compact swim jig on the market right now, and not a lot of people are even fishing with this. But you can pair it up with a D-Chunk. It's a really popular bait on the missile market. I am a huge fan of this bait. It comes armored with a VMC jig, the eyes, the color scheme, the weights that you can get them in. So this color right here is Bruiser. Then we got Junebug, Bone, and Lava Craw. Ain't that sweet? Again, I picked up 4 of them in that 3/16 size. Probably the best size whenever you're talking about a finesse jig. Getting into some soft plastics here. We have the Missile Bait Shockwave. We have 2 different sizes. This is the 3.5 and then this is the 4.5. It comes in some really cool colors. This is Bloody Pro Pearl. Then we got Pink Bombshell. And then we got Frosted Purple. This is probably my favorite color in the entire Missile Baits Shockwave lineup. I got a whole bunch of them mainly so I could just use them as trailers on spinner baits or like A-rigs. But again, really nice baits. Next up we got a craw type bait. This is called the Twin Turbo. And this is in that purple rain color. I just got them for trailers on like a swim jig or something. But ooh, they smell really good. They smell almost like anise or something. I'm a huge fan of that. Next on the lineup, if you've never heard of this bait, then you're probably living under a rock. But we have the Missile Baits D-Bomb. Extremely popular in the Missile Baits lineup. It's extremely popular in the entire fishing industry, really. But this right here is that Desert Storm color. Really cool dirty water color, almost like a Bama Craw kind of thing going on. And then we got it in Toxic Grape, which is essentially like a watermelon seed with a purple and then purple fleck going through it. Really nice color. I think it'll be extremely effective for flipping and pitching in the summertime. And then we got the little bro to the D-Bomb. We got the baby D-Bomb, and this is just in a bourbon color. And I picked up like 3 packs of these, and I plan on just dipping and dyeing them all sorts of different colors. But really nice bait. Again, baby D-Bomb, probably use him for flipping and pitching just in a more finesse style presentation. And then talking about finesse fishing, here we have the Ned Bomb, and this right here is a really nice bait. I think especially if you're using him on a drop shot. I know it's called the Ned Bomb, and you can fish him on a Ned rig, but I do fish him on a drop shot, and I think it just catches the snot out of him. But again, with all Missile Baits, comes in some really nice colors. So this right here is going to be green pumpkin, purple, pink tail. And then this is going to be grape soda tail. And then this is like the big bro to the Ned Bomb. We have the Quiver Worm. And this is in a 4.5 inch, so it's a little bit bigger profile. But again, same kind of concept. It's got that stick bait kind of body with that flanged kind of tail. Being a little bit bigger in profile, you can fish him a little bit more versatile. For example, like on a Texas rig, drop shot, shaky head, or even just Nico rigging him. This color right here is PB&J. This is Fishalicious. And then we got Bammer Craw. All 3 really nice colors. Again, that's something you'll always notice with the Missile Bait lineup. And lastly, the big bro to him, we got the Quiver 6.5, and this is going to be in a green pumpkin purple. I'm not really sure if the purple's really picking up. It's almost like a purple swirl or like a purple descent. But again, same concept, bigger profile, bigger flange tail, stick bait kind of style body. Again, really cool, interesting color. If you're interested in checking it out or picking it up, it's called GP3. And that does it for Missile Baits. We are completely out of items to unbox for part 4 of the world's biggest unboxing. Shout out to Rapala, VMC, and Missile Baits for having some really nice quality stuff and holding it down. Also shout out to my wallet for making this entire unboxing happen. Please leave a like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if there's anything that you appreciated or enjoyed. Stay following along the channel to see me fish a lot of this stuff a little bit more in depth and showing you guys kind of what I like to do with it, where I like to go, and the fish I catch with it. Again, thanks for staying tuned for the world's biggest unboxing, part 4, Rapala, VMC, and Missile Baits edition. I'm out. Peace.